Square started about 10 years ago, and the initial sort of concept for Square was really unlocking the access of small and medium-sized businesses, what we call our sellers, to give them utility to access the payment card networks. What we've seen since then, over the last 10 years, is that sellers need a lot more to understand, to learn and grow their business. So we've actually developed a product suite of 30 discrete individual products for our sellers, which encompass hardware, software, as well as financial services, to enable them to actually grow their businesses. We've got a lot of innovative products, right? I think just within the Cash App, you've got fractional share trading, and also cryptocurrency, right, is a utility that's available in the application. So from our perspective, it's important, especially when a product is very nascent, is that we can measure profitability, right, to see how it is performing. Do we double down? How can we learn from the experience in terms of the financial metrics and the engagement that a certain product is getting? Capturing that information on a cloud application such as Oracle and using Oracle Analytics really helps us focus and address those concerns. We've got to come up with the products that have the most resonance and have the most utility, right? That'll have more of a meaningful impact. And the way accounting sort of helps there is to provide the guidance and the guardrails such that the company can feel like it can still innovate. What we want to try to create is an atmosphere or an environment where we've got a startup culture within a public company, right? We don't want to lose that. And that's what's made us successful over the last few years. The easy thing to do is look at your own business internally and say, okay, we've got to start cutting costs or delay costs, right? I'm not saying that's not one sort of vector of work that needs to be done. We looked at this both internally and externally in terms of how to approach the pandemic. Internally, how strong were we? And from a balance sheet perspective, we ran multiple scenarios with regards to how the pandemic was affecting our sellers and then therefore affecting Square. And so, having an analytical tool that enabled us to be nimble there and plan in a more cohesive way was very important. We're tracking a bunch of KPIs, whether it be product profitability, free cash flow, even headcount planning, right? Where, what should our headcount footprint look like going forward? Do we need to pause? Where do we need to accelerate? So there was a lot of, again, slicing and dicing of information that all feeds into a consolidated perspective, and to be able to do that in a more turnkey fashion was hypercritical for us. It's important for us that we have standardization in terms of our policies and procedures, and the cloud allows that to happen. I think we've also been able to tap into some of the next generation of technologies that Oracle is very focused on. If you think about AI and machine learning, those are very congruent with Square and our philosophy about being innovative. With Oracle, you're dealing with a business partner there that is best in class, right? And so as we think about the complexity of all of our different products, it was important that we had a tool that could essentially deal with what we knew about today, but also partner with us in terms of the innovation for tomorrow as well.